Hey guys, it's Connor here from Purple Jam with another concept mechanic. Today we're going to be looking at overexposure. This scenario focuses around the player having to move through a sequence of chambers using a gas mask to combat radiation. The first scenario that I'm going to play you right now is a scenario of it being used successfully in a very small snippet. So let's play that and then I'll talk through it.
Exposure gameplay. Scenario 1. Safely pass.
Oxygen levels optimum.
Okay, brilliant. So what we heard there, as explained before, was the player walking through a dangerous section of an environment, and the danger obviously is irradiated materials there. The player simply puts the gas mask on, they have enough oxygen, and they move safely through the danger zone. There are more variables that I will be talking through in a second, looking at this next scenario here. So the second scenario that we experience the player running low on oxygen and having to do something about that. They have to search around the area for a filter. These filters will be scattered around for you to find extra filters, and then we have filters that you will inevitably get at each checkpoint. This adds a really nice element of tactics in that if you get stuck in a chamber with radiation for too long, you will run out of oxygen. So there will be points where you have to go back, find a filter to then progress through the next. Of course, if you have used your oxygen wisely, then you will be able to move through the radiation zone without having to run out of oxygen and without having to find another filter. Now, if you feel that you can take a gamble, take a risk and dash through the radiation, i.e. you've run out of oxygen but you've been really good with exposure levels, you can always make that sprint and, as I said, take the gamble to see if you can get through it without your gas mask on. So that's another interesting part of this mechanic that we'd like to see the players use. So let's just have a listen to what happens when the player runs out of oxygen.
Scenario 2. Oxygen depleted.
Oxygen levels low.
Okay, brilliant. So as we heard there, the player tries to move through a radiated zone. They run out of oxygen and their gas mask tells them this. They have to then turn back, search around a small area that's obviously enclosed by radiation, and the audio denotes when you're getting too close or you're being overexposed to radiation. They then find the filter, reattach the filter, and can move through the radiated zone with maximum oxygen. What you will notice, and this next scenario 3, will touch on this, is that you can get overexposed. Now, for example, you have to take your gas mask off to check whether there is still radiation if you can't hear it. That is, there are pockets of small radiation that are more difficult to hear. So you may take your gas mask off thinking that you're safe. But however, you will experience a change in audio and some exposure to radiation, which actually depletes your health. So you can only be exposed to certain amounts of radiation over a certain period of time before you unfortunately perish. And you also have to, at the same time, balance your oxygen levels throughout these sequences. Let's look at sequence 3 here, whereby the player thinks it's safe, takes the gas mask off, but unfortunately, due to the player having done that multiple times already, the radiation gets the better of him and the player perishes. Let's have a look at that.
Scenario 3. Overexposure.
Okay, brilliant. So that's what happens when the player is overexposed and has been exposed to radiation too many times. So this mechanic aims to sort of give the player tactics in balancing their overexposure, the difficulties of realizing when it is safe to take your mask off, and of course, managing oxygen levels. We hope that you guys enjoyed this mechanic. We're going to be fleshing out and developing this a little bit more. If you want to know more, let us know. But if you have any other comments, please do comment them, and we'll be sure to answer them as soon as we can. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I've been Connor Harrison, and you've been great. Thank you.